Hello and welcome back to the Slaughter once again, everybody. We're going to be taking a look at Medic this time in Killing Floor 3, and kind of going over what they have. So Medic is kind of straightforward like they were in Killing Floor 2, and they're also quite strong like they were in Killing Floor 2. I don't know if they're as overpowered as they were in that, but they still feel very strong. So let's go over their starting equipment, what they have, and kind of what they do. So first up, your starting weapon is called the VS-11. This does 65 damage. This is the Medic submachine gun. That's what it does. It's a submachine gun, nothing crazy, has low recoil, does pretty good damage, has a high rate of fire, holds 30 rounds, and then has a 60 total round magazine capacity. Your secondary is your medic pistol called the KH-380. This one does 60 damage per shot, but its secondary damage does 40. That is with your healing darts. They can also auto-target and heal people too, as well as they do come back over time. So pretty straightforward here. Your submachine gun doesn't have actually any sort of secondary fire. It is just fully automatic only. It does have decent iron sights though, and it's pretty easy to keep on target. It also doesn't shoot super fast, so keeping it on target is pretty good. Its hip fire is also pretty nice too. Nothing to talk about too much with the submachine gun, it's good. You can put multiple different types of darts onto these though, so its secondary fire would likely be things like the healing darts or healing grenades, or it could be like confusion darts too. So you have a couple different darts that you can use with this. Pretty straightforward weapon though. The pistol is also incredibly straightforward. This is just a semi-automatic pistol that kind of reminds me of a Luger, sort of, and kind of like of a couple different guns. It's not quite any of them, but holds 10 rounds, deals okay damage. Secondary fire is the healing darts. They do have travel time, but they will auto-lock to allies, and they do try to go to them, so you'll see them like whip around people and usually still stick them. They will prioritize whoever's in front though, so healing darts are still quite good. And I do like some of the animations for this gun too. Nothing really to say too much about Medic's starting weapons. They're kind of what you'd expect. You basically get the Medic pistol and the Medic submachine gun from Killing Floor 2. Your grenade is the same grenade that you had before, which is your healing gas grenade. Deals damage to all enemies that walk into that, and it heals all allies that are in it too. So that one's pretty nice. Nothing to really complain about, as well as you can throw it at your feet, and you can potentially just stand in it and survive quite a bit that you otherwise wouldn't. Your item is also very straightforward. So your item is just syringe bags. You can toss 2 of these out, and then people can pick up syringes from these, including yourself. So if you ever end up getting hurt, you can just heal yourself up with your syringes. You can carry 3 of these. Every class can, unless they have other upgrades that give them more, like Sharpshooter and Commando have pluses, and Medic might. I honestly haven't looked at their skills just yet. We'll do that in just a second. But yeah, these are pretty useful. They also have some abilities like giving multiple syringes in each bag, rather than just 1 syringe per bag. So that is super useful too. For your secondary weapon, you have the biomorphic projector. This is kind of like the heal thrower, but if it was only for damage. So that one's interesting. And then our tier 3 is the KNW MP6. This is the MP5. Does 70 damage and holds a lot of rounds overall. So that's pretty nice. For your tier 2 option, this one doesn't have a secondary fire once again. And you basically just hold it on targets. And then it deals more damage over time the longer you hold it on something. So it's actually kind of good, but it does have short overall range. It's not exactly what I was expecting, and it does have decent overall reach, but still, it's a bit awkward overall. It's not really one of my favorites. It's probably my least favorite of the Medic weapons. The MP5 is a lot more straightforward. This one is either semi-automatic or fully automatic, unless you have underbarrel attachments, like you can have a grenade launcher to this, you can have Medic darts on this as well. So Medic weapons can change up quite a bit thanks to like the underbarrel attachments or the other syringes that they have attached. Pretty much like the MP5 from Killing Floor 2 though, but a lot stronger. So that's pretty nice. I do enjoy this one, and you get a lot of bullets for it overall. And then your tier 4 is called the LF85. Now this one is kind of interesting because this one has healing darts built into it as well as damage built into it. And the healing darts do decent damage per shot, as well as if you hit an enemy with these multiple times, you can kind of overload them so they take more damage and sort of get stunned. The primary fire is pretty straightforward. This consumes 10 ammo, so you get a lot of shots with this. It's got pretty good iron sights, and funny enough, the more things that you shoot with this, the more damage you deal with it, since these are targets that don't actually count as increased damage. But if you're shooting Zeds, the more damage that you do to enemies, the more healing syringes you get back from this. So it's very much a combat medic weapon. You do more damage, you get more heals. You get more heals, you can do more damage. So pretty straightforward. It seems like a very good weapon overall, though. It also kind of reminds me of like a gun out of Aliens, just with all of the weird old technology kind of shoved onto it. So That's interesting. Yeah, let's take a look at Medic skills. Medic's the class that I think I've played the most so far in the beta. Medic is pretty strong, as they basically always are. So first up in level 2, we'll go over the passives, then throwables, and gadget. In level 2, we got Doctor's Bags. This one makes it so your syringe bag now grants 2 syringes each time rather than 1, and anytime you use a syringe, you get your armor back, which is pretty good. You get tankier as you heal yourself, so that one's pretty nice. The other one is Healing Hands, which makes it so you can revive allies faster, as well as those revived allies get up with bonus health. That's pretty nice, because you do want to res people quickly, and Medic is going to be the best at doing that overall. Especially since pretty much every enemy can execute you in this game too if you do go down. So yeah, the Healing Hands seems pretty nice. Doctor's Bag also seems pretty nice. At level 8, we've got Biohazard. Makes it so you deal increased weapon damage to enemies' flesh and mire hit zones. I'm not entirely sure what a mire hit zone is, but I'm assuming if it's a fleshy target, you do more damage to it. Kind of cool, but I usually go for like more tankiness with Medic, more so than just dealing more damage. We've also got the Pill Mill, increases your maximum ammo overall. Good for just about everything, so that's nice. And then we've got the Stronger Prescription, which makes it so all of your healing effects are better, which is also really good for Medic, so I particularly like this one a lot. And then we've got Symbiosis. This one makes it so if you heal allies, then you also get healed for a percentage back. This was in Killing Floor 2. It was really strong then. It's probably going to be really strong here. Then you've also got Painkiller, making it so if you heal allies, then they also take reduced damage for a few seconds. So 20% reduced damage for 4 seconds. That will probably increase up to like 10% at max. I imagine this also stacks with healing grenades, and it probably works on yourself too. So that one's gonna be nice. That one was also in Killing Floor 2, and it was really strong. Then we've got Strength in Numbers. Well, at least one other player or trading pod is nearby. You take 10% less damage, so you can stack this up, and I imagine this is by like 5% increases. So it's probably like 25% reduced damage at max, so long as you're next to somebody. So if you keep your buddy alive, you'll also be staying alive longer. Then we've got Social Distancing, shooting a downed ally with your weapon's healing effect, heals up their bleeding status effect, and if they're fully healed up with the bleed out status effect, then you can res them from a distance. That's also pretty good. That's pretty nice too. If somebody goes down, spam a bunch of healing darts at them, get them back up, or spam some grenades at them, get them back up. That could also be useful. I imagine you could also throw a bunch of grenades in an area, so if multiple teammates go down, they could probably just crawl themselves over to it and then pick themselves up. So that one's probably going to be pretty decent too. Then at level 26, we got Chemical Reaction. Killing an enemy, there's a chance to trigger a chemical cloud that deals damage to everything around it and heals everything. That one's going to be good. That one's going to be really good. Then we've got Heal and Deal. Healing an ally with your weapons increases your weapon damage by 15% for 10 seconds. Damaging an enemy with your weapon grants stacks of heal up to 10. That lasts for 10 seconds. Heal consumes all stacks. When you heal an ally, this will just increase the healing overall. This one sounds good. I still feel like I'd probably just take the clouds over it, because it's just passive bonuses to heals to yourself and to teammates, as well as more crowd control. Then we got Damage Plan. Allies healed by your weapons deal 20% more damage. That one's also good. That one was also in Killing Floor 2, and it was really strong too. So yeah, that one's gonna be good. Then for throwable, we've got more for your medic grenade. So first up, we've got Coal the Weak. Your healing grenade, gas clouds now deal more damage to small enemies. I really don't think you're going to need this, because I feel like you're going to kill small enemies regardless, just thanks to the healing cloud. And then we got gas expansion, bigger AoE. That's going to be good for healing grenades. Then we've got waste collector. Bio grenades leave behind waste, last for 5 seconds, and if you interact with the waste, then you can get another syringe. This also works for everybody. So you can just go pick up another syringe, which is kind of cool, especially if you're running low on syringes, so you can heal yourself up more. I kind of like that idea. At level 10 and level 22, you just get more grenades, so you can have up to 4, just like everybody can. Level 16, we've got one that applies the cloud, which makes enemies enfeebled, which makes it so they attack slower, they move slower, and they do less damage, similar to the Hemo Goblin in Killing Floor 2. Pretty good. Then we've also got the Pulmonologist? I can't say that word. Makes it so it increases the healing from the gas grenades even more. That one's probably going to be really good. Then at level 28, we have the Active Infection. Enemies hit by the grenade are infected for 4 seconds. Infected makes it so that it deals poison damage to them over time. Okay, kind of cool. I think that's actually the only one that we've seen that has had the infected status effect. Then we've got Lingering Cloud. This makes it so the duration is increased from the cloud. That's going to be really strong, especially since I'm guessing it stacks with all these other ones. So you toss these down, your clouds last a lot longer, somebody stands in them, they get all of their bonuses from it, and that's going to be really, really good. And then we also got Urgent Care. If you throw this at a bleeding out teammate, then it heals them. And I imagine that might actually stack with Social Distancing. Although this does say only the healing weapons effects. Although the healing weapon effects can be the grenades. I don't know if this would also stack with those grenades or not, or if it's just your throwing grenade. Either way, this one sounds pretty good too. Picking up teammates from a distance is going to be nice. Then we got your gadget, which is just your big old AoE damaging thing that also heals everybody that stands inside of it, including yourself. Put this out and it increases the blast wave, so you get more damage on the initial release of it. Kind of cool, but I doubt that's going to be super strong for medic. Then we got muscle stimulant. Allies standing within the Sanctum get increased movement speed, and it lingers for 5 seconds afterward, so that's going to be nice. Probably not crazy. The health benefits sound even better though, because this makes it so when the Sanctum releases, it just heals everybody for a burst of healing. That's pretty good. That's pretty nice. At level 12, we got burn units. This just deals more damage to small enemies over time. Again, I don't think this is necessary. Most of the time when I've been playing this, small enemies run into this and just die. So, like, getting more damage to them I don't think matters. Or you have the Outreach Center, which makes it so the radius is even bigger from the explosion, as well as the energy is even bigger. So this one is probably what I would pick, but either one of these seems fine for this. They don't seem way crazy. At level 18, we got steroid injection. Allies standing within the Sanctum get more damage. That's good. Allies are probably going to crowd towards your Sanctum whenever you throw it down anyway, because they're just going to be healed, and they're going to be basically invulnerable inside of it. We got suppressor. Enemies damaged by the Sanctum deal less damage over time, so that's good. Your teammates just get tankier because you're nerfing everything around you. Then we got field hospital. Increase the overall healing. That one's also going to be really strong, because more healing is more good. At level 24, we've got energy cycle. This one makes it so gadget energy recharge rate of other allies within Sanctum is increased, so everybody else gets their ult faster. So get to the middle of Medic's thing, because you're going to get your ult back up and you can use it more often. Then we got Storm Shelter, increase the overall duration of your Sanctum, so that's probably going to be pretty strong too. Everybody gets to sit in a safe place even longer. And then at level 30, we've got the Terminal Diagnosis, which makes it so when the Sanctum expires, it just deals a lot of damage to everything around it. And this deals biological damage, which is good. So that one seems nice. We also have Double Dose. You can use it twice, because using it once wasn't enough. And having all the buffs that go to it wasn't enough. It reduces the damage of the Sanctum, but who cares if it's all for healing and all for buffs for the teammates. Doesn't matter if your ult doesn't do any damage. It makes it so everybody's invincible. And then we also have the Resuscitator, which makes it so you use this, and it can pick up all downed allies within an area, and it also gives them more to heal when they get picked up. That one's also going to be really strong, so I have a feeling Medic is going to be overpowered once again in Killing Floor 3, like it was in Killing Floor 2, and I'm okay with that. I like Medic a lot. Medic is very, very strong. It always does get a whole lot of the blame from the team, but that's usually because teammates don't know what the heck they're doing and think that they do, and that's pretty normal. Medic is probably going to be complained about, like it was in Killing Floor 2, for not being strong enough because your teammates are not good enough. And then they're just going to keep buffing Medic again. And Medic's going to be overpowered again, which I'm okay with. So we'll see how this plays out. Either way, this is the overview of Medic. Thank you guys so very much for watching this. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.